Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. This is Mike from horseracingbarns.com. Do a little picking today for Gulfstream Park. We had a little bit of luck yesterday, but we did not cash it, either our early pick 4 or our pick 5. For some lucky people yesterday, that pick 5 was a $50,000 winner for a 50-cent investment. Today's races, we're going to start with race 2 because that starts our pick 4. And that's a very competitive race on the grass at 1 1/16 miles. And there's just a couple of horses in here I think you need to use. I like the 2 and the 4. And if the 14 or the 16, either one gets in this race, you might want to take a look at those. Those are a couple of horses on the AEs that deserve a little look. Now the 2 is my uncle Cardi, and that's a Nick Kanani horse, and he is coming off a second on the grass. Then he tried him on dirt, and he ran terrible. He's back to grass, getting a little bit of a break in class. He should be tough. Johnny V. The only other horse I'd use in here is Dale Roman's horse, the 4 Cars and Trucks. The problem with him was 2 beat him the only time they ran against each other on grass. Now the third race is an allowance race on the grass, and non-winners one other than, and that's at 1 1/8 miles. And here, this is a race that is a very competitive race, and you could go a lot of different ways. I'm sticking with the 2 horse. I'm going to single him. And the reason why I'm going to do that, he's got a good turf pedigree. He ran some competitive races in New York last year. His one and only start at Gulfstream in January. He was off slowly. Let's give him a chance to rebound from that. Looks like a lot of speed in the race. He's going to sit behind it. He gets Rajiv Mirage, who's rode him every time. We're going to go on a limb here and single that 2 horse. Now in the 4th race, this is a very good race as well. This is an allowance race on dirt. And it's an A other than optional claimer for 3-year-olds. Now, this is your horses that are trying to decide if they're Derby horses or not. And this is, like I say, 1 mile. I'm going to go with Pletcher's horse in here. That's the 5 Stat. And the reason why I'm going to go with him, his only race at Gulfstream was in the slop. He had a terrible start. He rushed up. Ended up finishing 4th, got beat a length and a half as a huge favorite. He's going to be favored again. But he runs second to Union Rags at Saratoga as a 2-year-old. This is a race that, it's not that strong. I believe he bounces back with a big win, and they move on from there. The 5 or Stat. The 5th race is a maiden 35,000 claimer on grass. Boy, what a tough race. Let's do a little something here. We're going to take all in here. It's a 12-horse field. We're going to take them all, but we're going to leave out 3 horses. We're going to leave out the 6, we're going to leave out the 9, and we're going to leave out the 10. They just seem to be too overmatched. I know you want to usually leave out 3 horses when you're taking all. It's only $1.50 for 50 cents to leave out 3. But I'm going to do it. I just don't believe I need all 3 of them. So my pick 4 ticket's going to be 2-4 in the first leg with 2, with 5, with all minus the 6, 9, 10 for a $9 investment. And if we're alive going into that 5th race, I feel like we're going to cash this thing. The 6th race is a $40,000 claimer at 1 1/16 miles on dirt. Now this race here, it comes down to 2 horses, I think. I love the 5 Dream Maestro. Now they ran him for 25,000 open claimers last time, and it was a big drop in class for him. He's made $500,000. He doesn't like to win. He's 17 seconds. But, he just looks like his class is too tough for these horses. He likes the track. His 3 of his 4 lifetime wins have come at Gulfstream Park. The only other one I would use in here is maybe this Jamie Ness shipper from Tampa. And the only reason maybe you'd use him is because you get Castellano. And this is a race that's kind of like starts at pick 6, which has a $176,000 plus carryover. You got to be the long ticket to cash this. if either one of those horses wins it, you're not going to be the lone ticket. There's going to be a lot of people live. The 7th race begins my favorite bet, the 50-cent pick 5. And this is a split race. This was a mile on the grass for optional claimers and non-winners at 2 other than fillies. The 7th, and the 9th race here are both the same condition, so they had enough entries to split this. In this race, I think you got to go deep. I'm going to use the 5, Majestic Maria. It's a first-time turf horse. Got a great pedigree. Maria's Mons on the grass. I love them. Marty Wolfson is a 20% trainer, first time on turf. This horse is 10-1. I believe you got to use them. The 7 horse is Whipsaw City, a horse that Chad Brown brought over from France. First time out of the box, he ran a big race on grass. She's going to be tough. She's 3-1. Julian Leperoux, you know, some tickets will single this horse. I can understand it. But, you know, it could be a bounce horse. The 8 is interesting. Here's a horse from Ireland, Christophe Clement, first time in this country. Ran some good races in France. Excuse me. I really like this horse. Her name is Liminar. She's 5-2. I believe she has to be used. The other one I'm going to use in here is Last Full Measure, the 10. This is Phil Oliver trained horse who's not been running. He's had a tough meet at Gulfstream Park, but this horse ran a pretty good race. Got beat only 2 lengths in her only start since December. Let's use her as a 4th horse. So we're going to go 5, 7, 8, 10. The 8th race of the day is the only good maiden race on the Saturday card, and it's not the best maiden race that Gulfstream has. I believe these horses are cut below. Don't believe you'll see any Derby horses coming out of here or Triple Crown type horses. I'm going to go 4 deep in here. I'm going to use the 1 Wise Guy Charlie with Johnny V. Ran 2nd, first time out of the box. Going to come back and go a mile today. Logical pick in here. The 4 horse is an interesting horse. He's an Invasor, first time starter. Invasor, wow, what can you say about him? What a nice animal he was. And I got to know him personally, and I really liked him. He's, Marty Wolfson trains him, Elvis Trujillo. You know, I believe at 10-1 you got to use him. The 5 is the Bill Mott trained Pushing on a String. Ran 2nd last time, going longer, dropping back to a 1-turn mile. Logical horse. And the last of the 4 I'm going to use here is McLaughlin's horse, the 6, Little Hale. And Little Hale is a horse that ran just no good at all first time out. But McLaughlin's 33% in maidens' 2nd starts. So at 8-1 and Joe Bravo sticking, let's use all 4. We're going to use 1, 4, 5, 6. The 9th race, as I said earlier, is the 2nd half of this 2 other than optional claimer for fillies. And then here, we're going to go 2 deep. I really like Musical Rain. Dale Romans. I don't like him that much. I like him a little bit. Lisa Jean. Here's one that you got to like. This is Graham Motion. 2nd start off of almost 2 years off. Year and a half. Ran decent. Got beat 3 1/4 lengths Prado last time. Gets Javier Castellano. This time that was sprinting. This is going long. 10-1 on a Graham Motion trained filly. You got to like that. The other one I would use in here is the 10 Sure Route. And this is a horse that's had 1 start in America for Bobby Robato. Very capable man. Ran some decent races in England. Ran just okay first time out. Bravo sticks with him. Let's go in here. Let's not use that 5. I changed my mind. Let's use 6 and 10 in here. We'll skip the 5. Now the 10th race is the biggie. It's the inside information. Nice grade 2 stake race here. Going 7 furlongs. Some quality horses in here. Pletcher's filly Our Holiday Mood will be the favorite. You got Musical Romance, who won the Philly and Mare Sprint last year. Came back first time this year, didn't run all that well. Our Holiday Mood's 2 for 2 this year at Gulfstream. But my choice in the race is going to be the 9 Groupie Doll. Gets Rajiva Mirage. Actually getting a class break here. Last 2 times out, hooked Awesome Maria in the Saban, going a mile and 16th. Ran creditable third behind a tough mare, and Royal Delta was second. That's strong company. Either one of those would be heavily favored in here. And then the race before that, she tried the boys and ran a huge race against boys at Toscanova, who was on last year's Derby Trail. So at 6 to 1, we're going to single Groupie Doll here and try to beat this big favorite for Pletcher. The last race is another maiden 35,000 claimer. Oh, it's another toughie, 7.5 furlongs. It looks like it's not a very strong race, but yesterday in this well, these last races are tough. Yesterday's last race paid $196. Are we going to see a repeat of that? Well, we could. Bill Bradley, who trains the Groupie Doll in that inside information, also trains a horse here in this last race, Tis Sunset. And to me, if he runs his last race back, his number stands out over this field. If I was pressed to use a second horse, I might go with 11 Little Bailey. It's a hard spun filly, bred to love the grass. If the 14 horse gets in here for Barclay Tagg, it's a first time starter. It's a tough chore to win going 2 turns your first time out, especially for a claimer. If he gets in, though, you got to take a second look. But in my opinion, you got to go with the 9. So we're going to do a pick 4 here. It's going to be 5, 7, 8, 10 in the 7th times 4, which is in the 8th. 1, 4, 5, 6 times the 2 horses in the 9th, the 6 and the 10, with the 9 Groupie Doll, with the 9 in the last race. And altogether, that's going to be a $16 ticket. If you got a little extra coin, you might want to spread out here in this race. You can do that in this late pick 5. You surely could. Wouldn't surprise me at all if something long happened. But hey, let's have a great St. Patty's Day. Hope everybody makes some money out there. Go Kentucky. We need them to win and continue to move on. And we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll handicap Sunday's card. May the horse be with you.